President Donald Trump might be getting a very big gift from a foreign government. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Monday, May 12th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. The president is scheduled to visit the Middle East this week. The trip is expected to focus on business deals and trade ties. One place Trump will be stopping is Qatar. And the oil-rich Gulf nation seems pretty pleased to be receiving the U.S. president. So pleased, in fact, that its royal family is considering gifting him a Boeing 747. No final agreement has been reached, but Qatar says it's discussing donating an aircraft to the U.S. government for Trump to use. Trump appeared to confirm those discussions yesterday. He has long complained about the state of the current jet used as Air Force One. If it goes through, this would probably be the largest gift given to a U.S. president by a foreign government in modern history. The plane is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Ethics experts are concerned. They think such a donation from a foreign government would violate the Emoluments Clause of the Constitution. That forbids U.S. officials from accepting gifts or other things of value from foreign officials without congressional approval. But Trump's team argues that it would be legal to accept the donation. That's because it would be transferred to the Trump Presidential Library shortly before his second term concludes. But that loophole hasn't reassured the ethics experts. They worry it will set a bad precedent. The U.S. and China agreed to lower tariffs on each other's goods for 90 days. That's number 2. This morning, Trump administration officials announced a temporary reprieve in a trade war that threatens to cause a global recession. The officials said that U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods would be reduced from 145% to 30%. Meanwhile, China said it would cut its blanket tariffs from 125% to 10% starting Wednesday. But some analysts say that the announcement fell far short of a trade deal. Instead, it sets a new tone and paves the way for more talks and a potential meeting between Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. At that point, experts say a full trade deal could be possible. President Trump backed Russian President Vladimir Putin's call for direct talks with Ukraine. That's number 3. On Saturday, leaders of Western nations, including the U.S., demanded that Russia implement an unconditional 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine this week. Otherwise, Russia would face stronger sanctions on its banking and energy sectors. But less than 24 hours later, Trump undermined that agreement. He posted on Truth Social in support of Putin's call to begin talks with Ukraine in Istanbul on Thursday. European leaders and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reiterated that they want a ceasefire first. Zelensky said that if a ceasefire is implemented, he would be open to meeting with Putin on Thursday. A meeting between Zelensky and Putin would be the first since the Russian president ordered the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Number 4. Hamas said it will release the last living U.S. hostage from Gaza. Idan Alexander is a 21-year-old U.S. citizen. He's also an Israeli citizen and soldier. He's been held captive in Gaza since Hamas's October 2023 attack, and now he could be freed as soon as today. Hamas said it had direct contacts with the Trump administration in the last few days. It's part of an effort to secure a new ceasefire in Gaza. Trump has not included Israel on his itinerary in the Middle East this week. He has reportedly grown increasingly frustrated with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plans to expand the war in Gaza. So he has repeatedly sidelined Netanyahu, including in these talks with Hamas to free a hostage. Pope Leo XIV gave his first Sunday blessing in Vatican City. That's our 5th story. The first American pontiff spoke to a crowd of 150,000 faithful in St. Peter's Square yesterday. In his address, he invoked the name of his predecessor, Pope Francis, and he called for an end to the wars in Gaza and Ukraine. He also sang.
Regina Caeli, letare, Alleluia.
In our newsletter today, we have some fun articles about the new pope, including one that attempts to explain all the conclave memes you might have seen. Plus, we have 14 surprising facts about Leo XIV. For example, yes, he's a White Sox fan, yet he still believes in God. For more, find our newsletter in the show notes. Number 6. The FDA approved the first at-home pap smear. According to doctors, cervical cancer is one of the most preventable cancers. That's because of screening tools and the vaccine against HPV. HPV is the sexually transmitted virus that causes nearly all cervical cancer cases. But every year, there are still about 11,500 cases of cervical cancer diagnosed in the U.S., and around 4,000 people die from the disease. A new tool may help in the battle against cervical cancer. It's a wand developed by Teal Health. It allows patients to self-collect a vaginal sample and mail it to a lab for testing. The Food and Drug Administration approved it on Friday. It's hoped that the wand will help expand screening, and that could save lives. And at number 7, researchers found that singing lullabies is probably a learned behavior. Anthropologists have long thought the human impulse to dance or sing a child to sleep is universal. But a recent analysis suggests that these behaviors are not hardwired. The study focused on the 800 members of the Northern Aceh. One of the researchers has worked with these indigenous people in Paraguay since the 1970s. And in all that time, she never witnessed a community member dancing or singing to help children sleep. Instead, their songs focused on hunting, current events, and ancestors. The most likely reason for the lack of lullabies is that they were lost from the culture years ago. The Aceh have faced immense population pressures from reservations, epidemics, and the forcible removal of their children. The researchers say their findings don't refute the possibility that humans have genetically evolved adaptations for dancing and responding to lullabies. But it shows the importance of culture in handing down these practices. All right, you're all caught up. If you like the podcast, a great way to support our work is with a subscription to The Washington Post. Right now, a core subscription is only $4 every 4 weeks for the first year. But what if you already subscribe? Well, I've got a deal for you too. A premium subscription comes with added benefits, including 3 extra accounts to share with friends and family. And it's only $6 every 4 weeks for the first year. So if you're feeling premium this morning, head over to washingtonpost.com/subscribe. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.
I'm Fennett Narapil, and I'm a health reporter for The Washington Post. My job is to cover public health, and that means I'm writing about infectious disease threats like COVID, Mpox, and bird flu, and I'm also holding the federal government and state government officials accountable for how they respond to these disease threats. So when we write about public health issues, we want to serve our readers by going deep into the science and by making sure that what they're reading is authoritative information that's been vetted by experts and written by people who've covered these issues for years. We want to empower people to live their best lives and to protect themselves and their loved ones. And that's what subscriber-supported work does, is that it gives me the time and resources to really spend on a story. When you subscribe to The Washington Post, you support this kind of journalism and the people behind it. I'm Fennett Narapil, and I'm one of the people behind the Post.